So my name is Adam McLaughlin and I am a photographer and videographer based in Ibiza, Spain. For the past 7 or 8 years I've focused primarily on the electronic music scene, particularly house and techno. That's the music that I love, and through doing that I was lucky enough to get the opportunity to come out to Ibiza and work, and I moved here in January 2020 and then 3 months later COVID-19 happened. Thankfully I had a set of skills that enabled me to sort of hustle through COVID-19 and still make a modest income, and to be honest, all of this comes from my love and my time around the electronic music industry. And in particular, there's one guy who I owe a lot to. Lee Pennington, aka Penno to his friends, is a DJ producer based in Middlesbrough in the northeast of England. He holds a residency at Zoo Project in Ibiza and is the founder of Teesside's longest running house and techno event known as Riffraff. He's had some commercial success with his productions and DJ career, but his day job is working as a teacher of music technology at Middlesbrough College. As far as the local music scene is concerned, he is definitely a pillar of the community. Penno called me up out of the blue, and he had this crazy idea.
One of our resident DJs, Millhouse, came to me and said, you know what we should do? Try and get someone to do a documentary on all the trials and tribulations that we go through when running an event, all the drama. And I'd seen on the internet my mate, the guy behind the camera, was just starting. He wanted to get into doing documentaries and things. So I said, why don't you come up and videos and see what happens? And he didn't even know how to switch his camera on at the time. But he said, yeah, I'll come up. And he said, if we get any drama, it'll be an added bonus.
So I need to set the scene here. The electronic music scene here in Ibiza is world famous. We're talking big names, big productions, and lots of money. But this story takes place in the exact opposite end of this spectrum of glitz and glamour. Middlesbrough is a large town in the northeast of England, shadowed by a dying industry, and its unique skyline gives the people of Teesside the nickname of Smoggies. Teesside has a funny heritage. The town sprung up when they discovered iron ore in the hills and the steel industry was born. Then, hard-working people from Liverpool, Glasgow, Ireland, Northern Ireland, Scotland all moved to the town, interbred, and created a working-class hybrid of personalities, hard-working, passionate grafters who found their livelihood slowly slip away as the industry declined.
I have a funny relationship with Middlesbrough. I quite frequently love being here. I love the people here. I love the crack. We've got like a crack that only exists here. I've been a few places, not a lot of places, because I'm from Middlesbrough. We don't really get out of here. But I've been enough places to sort of recognise that we've got a really unique crack in this town.
Yeah.
So that's the finest hotel in Middlesbrough.
It's nice.
Oh yeah.
Very carpet bed.
It's got carpets, curtains, more than most houses. Well, it's actually curtains. Take that net curtain heavy. Have you seen net curtains before? I don't know if they're a thing like on the continent because it's so ugly.
No, I don't know. I've called it other curtains.
They look like, you know, What, so you have net curtains at all?
No, I mean like no, in the room.
Do you have net curtains in the room in the hotel? Like, I've thought about leaving this place. I've thought about going to the place. I went and worked in Ibiza for a while. There is no place like home, mate. Like, you get out of here and you miss it. Like, there's no place like this. And I don't know if it's just because I'm from Middlesbrough and this is my home, or if it's because this is the only place in the world, other than like some sort of Amazonian tribe, like full of absolute Rajis. This is the only place in the world like this. It's certainly the only place in the first world that's like this. It's fucking unbelievable. It's just like a permanent cartoon. It's a vortex. It's just like, it's like the land that time forgot. Like, we have Wi-Fi, we have iPhones and all that shit, but like we're just so far behind everybody else. It's incredible. And then you got these odd gems of people who are just trying to push things forward, and there's a lot of passion in Middlesbrough. For all that, we've got fuck all, and like there's not a lot to do. There's not a lot to be done in Middlesbrough. There's so many people who are so passionate. Like, but we're so proud of like the one cup that we won a decade ago. We're massively proud of our Teesside steel. All over the world, you will find the steel of Teesside. But that's all fucked now, that's gone. We had mines pretty locally. We are proud of that industry, all of the chemicals and the mining that we've done. That's all fucked now. So the next phase of Teesside pride is people who go and work offshore and all these riggers and stuff like that. They are the elite of Teesside. I don't think that's got much life left in it, neighbour, but we're so proud of the failures of Teesside. It's fucking incredible. That is Teesside in a nutshell. It's what I do. I love it. I hate it. I fucking hate it. I hate Borough. But I love the people in it. Because everyone's own character. And I love being from here. I am a proud idiot. We're all proud idiots.
Riffraff celebrated its 18th birthday on the 2nd of October 2021, making it one of the longest running parties in the UK.
Came about in 2003 with me and some friends who were bored of the scene on Middlesbrough. And we just wanted to start something where we could play the music that we wanted to play and our own productions as well. The first event was held at a place called Spenceley's, and that came about by me bumping into one of our resident DJs now, Millhouse.
I bumped into him on a bus on the way to work, and we had a catch up, and he'd released a record and he wanted to start a night. I was DJing in a club at the time, so I said I'd help him put the party on.
Then Millhouse went off and done his own thing for about another 8 years. But for the first few years, we were like struggling. You'd be buzzing if you got like 50 people. And I remember when we booked Audio Jack, and what we learned from that was to book someone at the right time as they were breaking. We just went from this like 100 people coming in, just having a full club. We've had a few, We had Perk, who's massive in the techno scene now. Tale of Us, we got Tale of Us again just as they were breaking. So they played for us at a packed club, and then a week later they sold out DC10. We had Tansman, as he was on his rise. Actually, Tansman, he's kind of already there, to be fair. Slam was amazing. We had Slam on. And then one booking that we always wanted to book, was Peace Division, and we managed to get them before they obviously split up, so that was an amazing party. The boat parties, yeah, we've been doing them for a few years. On this Teesside Princess, it's this like function boat. It is not a rave boat at all, but that just adds to the fun of it. It's like doing a party somewhere where you shouldn't do a party, but proving the point that you can have a party anywhere. You've got obviously me that started it and tries to coordinate it to the best of my ability. And then you've got Stacey, who runs the club, who's a producer, DJ.
Lee Pennington was my teacher. I done music technology. That's how I met Lee. I met him. He was a bit of a he felt like he was some sort of like fucking office Nazi.
When Stacey first came on that course, I thought, oh my god, he's going to be a twat.
Like just a fucking whiteboard dickhead.
He sat there staring at me, pulls off this bobble out and a big Mohican. He had a Mohican all shaved on the side just for attitude. He's just full of attitude.
I honestly didn't know about anything that he was doing particularly. I went on that course, right? I was at a T-junction. It was either, right, and it sounds a bit dramatic, but I could either join the army, right, or give this course a whirl. I'd been voted out of college. 2 years on the bounce, right? Just for being an absolute dickhead. He was a good teacher. He was a good teacher. He got this stuff into our heads. But there was an episode during my time on that course. I'd called him a daft cunt in the class. He'd asked me to repeat it. I repeated it. Then he told me to repeat it one more time. So I repeated it, and then he took me out the car park for a fight. I swear to God. And it was around this point that I started realising that he wasn't quite the office whiteboard wanker that I thought he was.
Christopher, who does all the artwork, some of the artwork we've got is fantastic. His themes that he comes up with,
He's a good DJ, but he's an amazing graphic designer. And I've never seen what he's done. I don't know where he came up with the idea. I don't know how he came up with the idea. But when I seen that first poster series that he'd made the studio from a bird's eye view.
I've never seen another club night come up with a poster series where you put it all together to form a bigger picture.
And the next year we were like, well, yeah, that was mint. What now? We were all bashing these ideas for. And then Robbo just came back with the vibration series, so the first poster, somebody cranking a wheel. And then waves coming out of that, going into the year across the first 4 posters of the year. The second one was light hitting a prism.
Yeah.
Then light getting burst into the spectrum, and then going into the eye, and then back into the back of the eye. Fucking amazing.
That's what he's all about, and he's class, and he's a wicked DJ. Millhouse is just a seasoned veteran DJ. And Millhouse, he keeps us all in check, I think. Sometimes he's quiet, and then when he's got something to say, we all shut up and listen.
Millhouse, when I first met Millhouse, I thought that Millhouse was CID. I thought Millhouse was working undercover hours, and so here's the party. And I was like pretty fresh. But like Millhouse wasn't there when I first I don't know where he was and what he was doing, and like the people who were there a little bit before me, they knew about Millhouse, and everybody like idolising Millhouse, probably hero worship him because he's an amazing DJ. Turns out Millhouse is just one of the soundest, most beautiful people in the world.
Millhouse is like, I think, the most intelligent and knowledgeable DJ out of all of us for the vast range of music. Like, I've heard Millhouse hold a conversation with so many DJs that we've had as guests, and they start getting into it. I remember one time at the Zoo Project, we were trying everything to get them into our arena. It was just a case of like, we're going to step back here, get Millhouse on, and honestly, I'd never seen an arena fill up that quick off one DJ playing just a range of tunes. He just filled our arena up like that.
But yeah, I'd say my role does sort of fit in a lot more musically than it does sort of the promo side of things, because Lee and Sturdy have got that very much covered along with Graham.
And then you've got Graham, who runs Zoo Project, who runs Riffraff with us. And Graham's the connected man, really. I would say Graham's the brains behind the operation.
Lee sat me down at this party, and he said, "This is Graham." Lee said, "I'm your teacher. We have boundaries on where our relationship can go. I can't party with you." Just Graham can. Following week, Graham gave me a call, took me to Back to Basics, introduced me to Bearsky, took me to Whalebow after that, then Kettle after that. It was a real eye opener. I think that was where I started turning the corner. Graham was an integral part of my education as a promoter, as a DJ, as a person. He's an amazing friend. Graham has this uncanny knack of coming up with like inspired ideas, like ridiculous things that we don't think can be executed, which really can. And I think the problem is with Borough, we are all proper Borough lads, and there's sort of like Borough's a beautiful place in that like people are fantastic, but we all sort of share like a common denominator, which is we feel like sometimes stuff's out of our reach. And if you go to big cities and other places, people have this arrogant belief that they can achieve absolutely anything. And you know what? Like you probably can, but Graham somehow managed to blag his way out of Borough, and he's been infected with this ability, or this ability to believe that anything's possible. And do you know what? He pulls it out the bag. He really does. So I think we've all got our roles in Riffraff. I think Graham's, like, obviously he's plugged into the scene and all that, and he can reach hard to reach places for us. But I think he often gives us a bit up the arse to like look at the bigger picture, you know, like see outside of Borough, see outside of our own capabilities, and carry on reaching out, carry on trying to grow. Everything
we come up with, we run it through him, because he does this as an absolute full-time job for one of the biggest parties in Ibiza. But he's so clever with his bookings. And it's one of them, when Graham tells us that, this booking is someone you want on, like that Tale of Us booking, that was, we go with it, we go what Graham says.
I guess, obviously Pedal was the founding block of everything that we do. He was someone who inspired me to move on from just being someone with a day job to getting involved with house and techno events to whatever. Cut a long story short, without him I wouldn't be where I am doing what I'm doing.
And then we've got our head promoter, Adam. He's like the Teesside Bez.
All of the lads are probably going to draw a parallel between Bez and the Happy Mondays, and Adam Smith.
He's at every single party drumming up excitement for the next event. He's on the dance floor. He's so vital to what we do. You know what I mean?
He's a beautiful creature. When I first met him, he seemed like an idiot. Seemed like he didn't have a clue, and it was a walking miracle that he functioned in our society. I know him a lot better now. That was quite a few years ago. He's an idiot. He just goes round and round and round in an infinite cycle of idiocy. He's incredible. He's one of my best mates in the world, and I love it with pieces.
Just good crack, like. Just no hard feelings between anyone. Like, you'd say stuff, but people wouldn't get, like, offended. But obviously, if some people would get offended, it'd be a nightmare. But just, like, everything about it's just, like, just family rising, really. If that's even a word. It's like we're just one big family. It's basically everyone who comes down and just a part, they just join the family. It's just go everywhere together. But yeah, the banter's pretty intense, like, sometimes. It's quite it's hilarious, actually, and quite dark.
At the time of filming, Riffraff was a monthly party held at the Medicine Bar on Corporation Road in Middlesbrough. It was an upper bar with a subterranean dance floor, and it had a maximum capacity of about 300 people. The average cost for entry was £8 to £10.
I mean, we always try and price the party the lowest possible price. We want, like, obviously it'd be mint to make enough money to be able to put a festival line on every month, but it's not enough people here. There's not enough people who can afford to make that possible.
We do have a pot of money, but that always gets, like, just spunked all over, like, other artists. Like, a few years ago when we had a lot of money and it was the 10th birthday, and we put DOP on, Pedestrian on, Louis the Silver Express 2, all in one night.
We live in this place as well, and we go through exactly the same thing. We have exactly the same trauma, exactly the same financial trouble, personally, as the people who run the dance floor. We are the people of Teesside also, and we experience the grimness of it as well. We want to get out of it, but we've got this thing here that we are doing where people can come down and get stuck in and just for 7 hours, just put all out where, do you know what I mean? It's an actual service at Teesside. It's a service to the music, it's a service to the culture, and it's giving people a break. And maybe I'm being a little bit too precious about what we're actually doing here, but I know that when I go on a night out, that's what I'm trying to get away from, you know what I mean?
February 2015 was the day that I agreed to visit Teesside and shoot the event and create some sort of interview situation. The first party of the year was with acid house legend, a guy called Gerald. I took a friend with me, Dean Gatenby, because to be honest I still didn't have a clue what I was doing with my camera, and he would be able to shoot the interviews and I would try and get a semi-serious interview out of my daft mates.
I've done that many things now. I've been at underground for that long. It just, everything seems a bit normal to me now, and I think, you know, to sit here and talk about the most underground thing I've ever done, it automatically take away how underground it is, because then I'd be doing it because I want people to know how underground it was, what I'd done in the first place. So I can't really tell you, but put it this way, it was pretty fucking disgusting.
Now, is this a serious bit?
You want me to be actually serious? Yeah.
Penor was on the phone to me. He kept on ringing me while I was trying to do the interviews, and obviously if he rings more than once or twice there's a problem. So I picked up the phone and Penor was asking where Gerald is, whether or not he's at the club.
I went to pick Gerald up at 7:25 from the station, and the train turned up. He never, and then we were just like running about all over trying to find out what had gone on. We were ringing all the agents up, etc. And then it turns out he'd chopped his finger off.
He texted me on the night, and I'd phoned him and I spoke to him. The information that I have is basically he's had an accident, man. He's cut off the end of his finger and he had a bad day in A&E.
Dino and I followed Sturzy and Millhouse as they unpacked a guy called Gerald's stage area and Penno was frantically trying to find a replacement DJ late on a Saturday night to try and save the first party of the year.
I managed to ring Rui da Silva.
Chart-topping DJ Rui da Silva happened to be free that night, but he lives in central London, and the last train heading north for the day was due to leave very soon.
I rang him up, I said, are you busy tonight? He said, well, I'm doing that remix for you that you sent me the parts for a month too late. I said, yeah, well, just bring it up with you.
Rui made the train with seconds to spare, but it terminated at Doncaster, which is 80 miles away from the club. We had a 3-hour round trip provided there was no traffic and no delays. It was a tense car ride down to Doncaster.
And I picked him up in Doncaster and then belted it back and got him on the decks for about 1 o'clock, I think, in the morning.
I remember being bounced around the dance floor while trying to capture footage, people banging on the ceiling to the beat. The atmosphere was typical of a Riffraff crowd when they were on top form. I was happy for Penno, really happy for him. I thought to myself, nice one, mission accomplished. All I need to do now is learn how to edit, and I've got a cool little story for Penno in the bag. But little did I know at the time what we had experienced so far in this whole catastrophe was just the tip of the iceberg, and the shit was about to hit the fan.
One person that asked for a refund, by the way. One person, and he knows who he is if he's watching this. Everyone else wasn't bothered about the refund. They thought it was a brilliant night. We were over the moon. Rui was over the moon. I thought, you know what? All this hard work, we've turned it round. Absolutely fantastic. And then the next day we woke up to like a whole world of shit.
Coming up in part 2, Riffraff becomes involved in an international media scandal.
But then there was like some sort of appendix on the end where it was like a second car crash, which was a bit of a nightmare.
I've gone away from that like budget. We're all over the news, mate.
Who's up?
Our mum rang us up this morning. I thought it was a lie. 6 people have ended up in hospital after taking an E.
Gerald finally makes it to the club.
Gerald? Hi, it's Lee. Are you on the train? Yes!
It all goes wrong with Octave 1.
Well, we've had something didn't go wrong. And this time I think it was Graham's fault.
If you enjoyed this, please share it with your local promoters and party people. Part 2 will be released in January.